Well, we have two conversations today, and all is centered around taxation. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. Well, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service has reiterated the statutory deadline of 31st January 2026 for all employers of labor in Lagos State to fulfill their statutory obligation to file their annual returns for the 2025 financial year. The LIRS issued the reminder in a statement by its chairman, Mr. Ayodele Subur, reminding Lagos employers that the obligation to file annual tax return is in accordance with the provision of the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. Mr. Subur explained that employers are required to file details returns from emolument and compensation paid to their employees, as well as payments made to their service providers, vendors, and consultants. LIRS boss stated that the effort is to ensure that all applicable taxes due for the year 2025 are fully remitted. My guest is a friend of the house, is the Deputy Director, IT Directorate, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, Dr. Rashid Olu Ajayi. We'll get to that conversation very quickly now. Good afternoon, Dr. Ajayi. It's been a while, but it's really good to see you here.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, viewers.
And it's a happy new year to you.
Happy new year to you as well.
And we are back to filing our returns. It's time to start filing returns.
Yes, it is.
January seems to be a very critical month when you look at for employers of labor in terms of personal income tax and what specific returns are required to be filed. Let's start with that with this period.
So for this basic year of returns in 2025, the annual returns is prescribed as by the tax law. You also have the schedule of payments, withholding taxes, and then the projections for the current year. Those are the files that are sacrosanct for filing for this period.
So what digital platforms are currently available to employers filing annual returns, and how user-friendly are these processes?
All right, thank you, Tolu. So we have a Lagos State Internal Revenue Tax Administration portal with the address of LIRS, etax.lirs.net. That portal has actually been in use for over half a decade now, and a lot of people are quite conversant with it now. Although we've also done a lot of sensitization, done a lot of advocacy, and done a lot of training around the application. So it's fairly pretty basic for people to use, to be honest.
But when we have times like this, I believe that many times we have surge, and many will say, is your e-tax system optimized to handle the surge in employers filing this January?
Well, to be quite honest, we do have an optimized revenue portal that takes that. You know, the notion in Lagos we're last-minute people, and these are quite these kind of surges that we get very at the tail end of the annual returns. But the system has been very robust enough to withhold those surges so that people can file seamlessly on the portal.
So let's say, what is the deadline submission for submission? That's one. And specifically, my researcher, I say, are there penalties for late or non-filing when payee payments are up to date?
Yes, I'll start with the last question. They're usually, obviously, because it's a statutory requirement, it is the law, and obviously, if you run foul of the law, there are bound to be penalties for that. So this is one of the takeaways from the new tax administration, because the previous tax law, the penalties on it was not really realistic. But with this new tax law, I think Section 28 of the new tax law, fines whoever is culprit for, I think, about 10 million naira. 10 million naira for default. And then subsequently, each day, they would have to pay 2 million naira for each day they have failed to file the returns. The other side of it is that statutorily, people are meant to file their returns from the 1st of January to 31st of, so the submission should have come by 31st of January of every year. So that's the date for the final submission.
I'm curious here now, in case where an employer discovers an error after submission, how does the e-tax support amendments or corrections?
So we have quite a lot of tools that empowers, that enjoins the agency to be able to correct such anomalies. One of our watchwords and focal in the agency is to provide an IT-savvy environment for people to be able to do things seamlessly. But we do have quite a lot of channels. People can usually send emails to the IT directorate to correct whatever omissions or errors that they have on the system. And then we also have a customer service where people can chat with individuals within the customer service to correct such anomalies, or they can even go to the nearest tax station to meet our subject matter experts, where they can also sit with them and correct whatever anomalies that they. But essentially, there are ways in which a lot of people, all these things can be done if they've come up with errors and mistakes on the portal.
And no matter the numbers, you are able to address them.
Oh yes, certainly. That's why we're there. We're there for taxpayers, and usually we try to do everything within the ambience of the law to ensure that people don't pay more than they necessarily have to pay. So if there are errors, definitely we would also check that. But in doing so, we also check for adequacy as well to make sure that everyone filing also file adequately for the government of Lagos State.
Now, are there cybersecurity and data protection measures in place to safeguard employers, employee informations during filings?
So we are quite in tandem with the three principles of cybersecurity, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Those are our watchword in IT. And we also ensure that we get audited regularly by the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, who does regular audits. We also get audited by the State Auditor General's Office on Cybersecurity and Software System Industry, so that we know that the data of our taxpayers is well secured and then is well protected.
That sounds good. Now, is there real-time technical support now specifically or guardians available to employers experiencing difficulties in the filing window?
Yeah, so there are. Like I said, we have a customer service that does that. We also have a chat app on our eTax platform where people can chat with customer service or even members of tax administrative within the tax stations. We have subject matter experts that are tax stations that could also assist anyone in having such difficulties while filing their returns. So there are quite a lot of media supports that we can give to people like that. We also have, social media handles where we also assist people in filing as well.
So I'll ask you a layman question. We ask, how do taxpayers, general public, reach the LIRS?
So again, it's simple. You can reach us via the social media handles. We have a Facebook, we have Instagram, we have a YouTube, and the address for that is at lirsgov.ng for Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We have X as well, which people can also reach us by. Then we also have a customer service number where people can reach us. It's 0700 22 555 544, where people can reach us at. And then you can also reach us via email at info@lirs.net if you have any issues of such.
Now, on the issue of taxpayer ID by the State Tax Authority and tax ID by the Joint Venture Board, which is to be used to file returns, can you educate us more around this?
So the new tax law has enjoined everyone to get a tax ID.
Yes.
But obviously we still have the Lagos State Taxpayer ID that we use in the old tax law. So for this current filing of the year, we still enjoin people to use their old tax ID because the new tax ID is just going to be an harmonization of all the taxes across the federation. So you could be staying in Lagos and be paying your income tax as perhaps you are now based on your residency and living in Lagos, you'll be paying your income tax to Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. You could also be paying VAT or also be paying land use charge in Ogun State or Abuja, anywhere. So what the tax ID is supposed to do is to be able to harmonize all these forms of taxes that you pay across the Federation, just in a way to dissuade double taxation and also to give the Revenue Authority a global view of an individual across the Federation.
So, yeah, my next conversation is digging deep into the new tax laws, of course. But before I get there, with the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025 now effective, are taxpayers to expect any key digital system upgrades from the LIRS?
Yeah, so that is what we've always been doing. And anyways, in the agency, we've been spending humongous revenues to enhance our digital system in the Lagos State. So this didn't come to us by surprise, because it's something that we have been doing. We've been leveraging on technology in the last 2 decades in agency. So, of course, there's rooms for improvements. We're still going to ensure that we'll improve on our digital system. But by and large, with that said, we still need to improve and connect to the Nigerian Joint Revenue Board in Abuja. So that is what we're working on presently, to ensure that that connectivity with the JRB is maintained across the Federation.
So there should be a connectivity across the board.
There should be a connectivity across the Federation to the JRB, to the Joint Revenue Board in Abuja, and that's what we're currently working on.
Most professionals like yourself have considered this tax reform necessary. And let me ask you, why is that?
Well, it is necessary because if you look at the old tax law, the last reform for the PITA law, which is the Personal Income Tax Act, was last reformed in 2011. And a child that was born in 2011 probably will be writing their GCSEs now. So definitely there's need for that reform. But essentially, even the incentives that was given in the tax law is not in tandem with the current economic situation of the Nigerian people now. So if you look at where the consolidated relief, the incentives that was given in the old tax law, it gives you 20% of your gross income plus or 500,000, whichever is higher. That today is nothing compared to the 800,000 tax exemption that you get from this new tax law. It also harmonizes all the revenue streams that people will get to, so that people will not be paying double taxation again, and also gives you the ambience of being able to pay less. On the old tax law, for instance, if you're earning 1 million naira, you'll probably be paying about 54,000 pounds per. Sorry, did I just say 54,000 naira for the tax income for that year? But under this new law, you only be paying 30,000 naira. So there's a 24,000 naira that you would save from this new tax administration. So it should be a welcome development for everyone, to be honest.
Now, what will be your key message now to employers on using LIRS platforms, of course, for timely and accurate January annual filings during this period? So
the tax law is a statutory requirement that enjoins all employers of labor to file returns. So if we don't do that, we'll be acting in ambience without, outside the law. And I enjoin everyone to act within the ambience of the law. It is our civic responsibility. Everyone should know that we should pay our taxes. And more importantly, if we're deducting taxes from employers, from employees, then we should be able to remit those taxes to the state. If you look around where I am now, taxpayers' money is well in use. If you go to the roads, the security in the states and all that, this is what taxpayers' money are being used for. And government needs money to be able to do all these things. If you look at the rail projects in Lagos, these are where taxpayers' monies are being channeled into. And we need more of this to be able to continue all these projects and the good work of this Lagos State administration. Thank you.
So what more would you tell employees? Employers at this time, what more would you like to tell them as we wrap this up?
So we just would say to them that we should join ourselves to pay, to file returns, because there are stiffer penalties now. If you're going to pay 10 million naira as fines for not, yielding to tax law, I think it's going to be too much on any company. So in doing that, I enjoin everyone to ensure that they file their returns on or before 31st of January so that they don't run foul of the law.
Because and there won't be any extension?
There won't be any extension because we are waiting to make sure we nail people this time.
All right then. Dr. Rashid Oluwajayi is Deputy Director, IT Directorate at the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. They're giving us insights into deadline for filing annual returns and all of it. Thank you so much for coming in. It's really good to have you around.
Thank you for having me.
All right then. Well, still to come on the show, I said it earlier.